10 years ago, two young Barbadians enthusiastic about pop culture set out to establish a space where like-minded individuals could gather to share their common interest in movies, gaming, comics, anime, cosplay, and all manner of geeky pursuits. Following the example of international conventions such as the San Diego Comic-Con, London Film and Comic-Con and Comic-Con, they created one of the most anticipated annual events in Barbados. That event is AnimeKon, and we're celebrating its first decade on Beyond Epic, 10 years of AnimeKon. The best things about AnimeKon are the panels, the contests, the featured guests, and of course, the cosplay competition. So what better way to kick off this celebration than revisiting some of our favorites?
There are people that are saying that those four people that Zod was about to burn to a crisp with his heat vision are worth less, their lives are worth less than Superman's moral code. Like, I'll fight you.
One of my favorite photographer friends, his name is Martin Wong. Do you guys know him by chance? He's super, he took my Castlevania one up on Yosemite. He likes to actually pose and show me. So he'll be just like 1 second, he'll run and he'll be like, just like this. And he's seriously incredible. He does better poses than almost anybody I know.
Made a little Luigi card and it threw like soft shelled at people for a video, and that got, I think, like it's like a month old and it has like 1.5 million views already. So it spread. Like, you know, make something unique, something that's no one ever done before, and eventually like people will take notice and people will share the hell out of whatever you just made.
That was so authentic.
They started a pop culture convention of all things in Barbados, at a time where it's not unreasonable to imagine that not many people thought it possible, much less sustainable. It has proven to be both. Curious about what that takes?
The moment we've all been waiting for at AnimeKon. My roles for AnimeKon are quite boring. I handle the finance, I handle the mundane stuff to make sure people get paid. As opposed to Melissa, whenever you see all the colors, all the glitz and the glam, that's all Mel. AnimeKon started about 11 years ago. Melissa messaged me because she knows I was into entrepreneurship for a long time. And she messaged me, she says she wants to start an anime theater. And then I sat down and thought about it. I called her back. I said, Mel, you know you're onto something, but an anime theater is only one aspect of what we can do. So let's look towards the pop culture conventions of the United States, of Europe, of Japan, and let's create our own pop culture convention and make it massive in Barbados so we can become a pop culture hub in the Caribbean. And she loved the idea, and we sat down and we started to do our research. We created a business plan, and then we said, you know what? Let's push it to the sponsors. Let us make this work. And AnimeKon was born. Barbados is a very conservative culture, so we had to prove that our business model was viable and it was able to sustain itself over the long run. And not just that, but if you agree to sponsor us, whether in cash or kind, that we were able to deliver the number of persons that we told you we would deliver to make sure that it made it worth it to you. In the beginning, it's always difficult. At the end of AnimeKon, especially year 2, we were like, does this make any sense continuing it? Because a problem with business is when you first start, you have to make sure you trust the right people. And we got involved with some persons who promised a lot, but delivered nothing. Year 2 was disastrous. We almost didn't have a year 3. Getting sponsors in the beginning was hard. Getting the attendance was hard because everyone was a closet geek or a closet nerd back in the day. We had to pay cosplayers. We had to create their costumes for them to come out in the beginning. We plan our events a long time in advance. For the last 3 years, we planned our events Limitless, World of Wonder, and Scans of Midgard, which were our 8th, 9th, and 10th events, all at the same time. So we had our 3 events planned at least, between 12 and 24 months in advance. We are now upping the ante once again. We're launching something called the Terranautical Chronicles. We're looking to have an entire storyline which lasts 5 years. I think a problem that a lot of businesses that we have in Barbados face is that we say, you're aiming to the Barbadian public and that's it. AnimeKon, we think like an international brand because we are an international brand. Because if you put on an international event and your guests go back and say, well, we went to AnimeKon and it was fantastic, other people will want to come. Another thing that we've learned is to make sure you trust the right people, especially when you want to set the standards at a superior level. So you have to make sure that the persons who you are working with understand what you want to do, your vision. And another thing is just to make sure that everyone is on the same page. Because you have exhibitors who make or break the convention. We created AnimeKon All-Stars, which is an incubator, a business incubator, which helps young and fledgling businesses make sure they're up to par and up to standard with what is expected of them at an international level. Guests is always a ticklish thing. We have a laundry load of guests who want to come to AnimeKon and we all want them to come. But there are always the patrons who want a specific guest to come. We cannot always bring the top of the list because they are so expensive, but they may cost $50,000 US per day to come. And then there's their travel, and then there's their hotel, and then there's their handlers, and those other things. So it becomes very difficult to manage expectations. We want to provide the best for our patrons, but we also have to make sure we can afford it. We speak to our patrons and we find out what they want, what they like from last year, what they did not like from last year. We can then determine what to do for the subsequent year. So we're having an event coming up for our year 11 through 15 events called Back to Cool. So some of the things which you would have seen for AnimeKon in the beginning, which you love so much, we're bringing back to the fore. Seeing persons walk down the road, on the street, on Broad Street or on the road, and I see them wearing AnimeKon shirts. I mean, that's so amazing. I remember I was walking through town once, and this guy walked up to me with his daughter, and he says, "See that man? That is the man who has AnimeKon." And it made me feel really happy that I can bring joy and something different into person's lives. And Melissa's the same way. We pride ourselves on being the Christmas for artists and creators. So, you know, when we can help persons hit their targets and revenue goals to make sure that they can go on to another year, that makes us really happy. AnimeKon has a 4-phase plan. We're currently in phase 2. Phase 1 was the creation of a pop culture convention to make sure that everyone has a place where they can feel settled and happy and revel in their geekdom and nerddom. Phase 2, we have created Aeon Bar and Grill, which is part owned by AnimeKon, which is, as far as we know, the region's only pop culture restaurant. So, you know, we're looking to open more branches of Aeon and do more things to make sure that the average man, the average Barbadian, knows that pop culture is nothing to be shunned or to be afraid of, and that AnimeKon is just as important to the culture of Barbados as Cropover is, as All Year's Night is, as Halloween is becoming. Phases 3 and 4 are coming over the next 15 to 20 years. The dream for AnimeKon in the long run is to create a pop culture hub in the region. We want Barbados to be known as an area in the hemisphere known for pop culture. Hollywood is known for movies, Wall Street is known for finance. We want Barbados to be known for pop culture.
AnimeKon has amassed countless loyal fans, many of whom attend each year, some from the very first year. The fans are a significant part of AnimeKon's continued success. For a number of them, the convention has had significant impact on their lives. This celebration would be incomplete without a word from some of those fans.
You can always find somebody to relate to.
It's the fact that I can be me.
The first time I came, I felt like I was home.
The people, the cosplay.
More than everything, I like the atmosphere. All my friends are here, and everyone here is very friendly.
I get to meet a lot of people that I never thought I'd meet.
Seeing the different subcultures coming together is really appealing.
I like that it's a space where I can come and find all the superhero stuff because I'm really a big fan of comics.
Cosplaying is fun. Being around like-minded people that like the same things as you, and you can have discussions. Because like just walking down the street, you're not going to be able to say Jotaro-kun, and someone just reply to you.
The people, like I love the community. Everyone is like with each other, helpful of each other. We all support each other.
I love the creativity that is AnimeKon because every year there's something a little bit different.
I love cosplaying. I love making my own cosplay, buying art and whatnot.
People come here and they feel free to, even if it's not being themselves, they feel free to be something else. They feel free to just relax and let their weird out.
Well, for one, you already got hype being an anime geek anymore.
Doing my first cosplay and seeing the reactions to everyone to it has really helped my confidence actually, yeah.
Before there's AnimeKon, you just always see cons overseas. Now we have our own here in Barbados.
It's introduced me to a lot of things that I didn't know I liked before that I've now realized that I'm obsessed with.
I was usually very shut in as an individual, but coming here I get to express myself freely, and I think that they've created a community that allows for it.
Yes, it has made me more creative. Because of going to AnimeKon, I actually did start like becoming an entrepreneur.
In school as a kid, you always see you as a nerd or weird to like that kind of stuff, so it's like seeing more people into it makes you more glad to just, be able to be yourself and, express yourself freely around people, and, it's no shame in loving anime or comic books. You're never too old to love it.
I remember I've lost my voice over screaming so hard for the competition, so I think those are the best memories.
When you come here and somebody tells you, just be yourself, or pretend to be something else, just feel free to be whatever it is that you want. You see an entire other side to people, and That's where I get my enjoyment from.
I think a standout for me was Maki, I think 3 or 4 years ago. It was just a big thing for her coming to a con that's majority black, where in the States there's very limited of those. So I was very glad to see she got to experience that here.
The first year people started doing cosplays. That year changed it all for me. It was like incredible to see people doing cosplays, because you see people in America dressing up and everything. So seeing it here in Barbados was like, okay, this is amazing.
Laughing with Manu and having fun on the cruise with Manu Bennett.
When I was Rick from Rick and Morty one year, and I went up on stage and I had a handmade portal gun, and I used it, and there was a scream from the crowd, and that was incredible.
When Yaya Han came back for a second year, and she wrote, I have a huge book that all the guests sign in, and she put that she saw how much I improved in my sewing, and she can't wait to see me again.
I would actually say when my daughter first came, and she was so excited to see all of the stuff. She was so excited, so I love that.
Meeting LeVar Burton in the first year of AnimeKon was a big thing, because I was a big fan of Star Trek when I was a kid.
Probably when me and two of my friends, we entered the cosplay competition trio as Catwoman, Poison Ivy, and Harley Quinn.
Thank you for thinking that it was a good idea to bring a bunch of people that like anime together, because we don't really have anything like that at all.
It's one of those things that people come together and they make memories, and that's the most important thing.
Thank you, never change, always do this, and always keep doing amazing things for us that don't usually have outlets like this.
Thank you for having such a great event.
I would tell them they have done a beautiful job creating a community and a family that has over the years grown into something beautiful.
Thank you very much for enriching the local community with all the wonderful things that you do every year.
It keeps getting better, and I really appreciate the hard work, because seeing what people do behind the scenes is amazing, and keep it up.
Like, thank you for giving us this opportunity and just allowing us to be free.
So you've done a huge amount for us, and I have no words to express how thankful I am for that.
If you impacted my life, like how you did, I know that you're doing it with everybody else's, and I'm looking forward to the next 10 years.
Thank you for making a safe space for geeks and nerds and people to do their arts and to do special things. It's important, and it's not just about people getting to dress up. It's not only about people getting to dress up. It's about the fact that they feel safe here, and they look forward to it every single year, and that's important because it validates you. It validates fandom. It validates nerdiness and geekiness and wanting to be involved in pop culture, and it's not just that weird thing that kids do. You know what I mean? I'm 37, and I don't think I would stop coming to AnimeKon, ever.
AnimeKon has certainly made its mark, not just locally, but regionally and perhaps internationally as well. What started as a one-day event in a small corner of the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center has grown to 4 days and includes a cosplay catamaran cruise, a rave, an after party, and its signature geekcation, and it takes up the entirety of the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center. It has cultivated a tradition of excellence and innovation. 10 years is a long time, but it's truly just the beginning for the Caribbean's #1 Comic-Con.
Round 1, fight!
You win.